Okay, so today we're doing 1.3. We're going to start with these 5-minute checks first, and then we'll talk about different properties of multiplication. Okay, so last week we learned what?
PEMDAS.
PEMDAS. Okay, so this is a little review. What do we do first in this situation?
6 times 3.
6 times 3, and if you need to show yourself like that, do that. So you know I need to do multiplication first. Okay, so I'm going to drop the 20. And then what's 6 times 3?
18.
18. So 20 minus 18? 2. Did everyone get 2?
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. This one. What's first?
15
Parentheses. 15 plus 3. What's 15 plus 3? 18. What would our next step be?
Multiply.
Multiply what?
2 times 18.
2 times 18 is what?
36.
It is 36. What else can we do in this step?
11 times 2.
11 times 2. What's 11 times 2? 22. What's 36 minus 22?
14.
Did everyone get 14? Is everyone getting this PEMDAS thing down? What is the actual name for PEMDAS?
Please excuse my Aunt Dear Sally.
Dear Aunt Sally. Okay. Order of operations. Okay. Let's look at. Oh man. One. Who looked at this and got scared?
Which one?
Because there was a bunch of letters. Okay. I'm gonna skip this one. We're gonna do the next one. Okay. What do we do when we have a bunch of letters in an equation and then they give us numbers for those letters?
You substitute them.
Substitute. I like that word. We're going to use that word a lot today. Substitute. Replace. I like that too. Okay, so B. What's B? 5. 5. And then cubed. What's A?
4.
C.
10.
Minus B.
5.
5. Now you just have to evaluate it. Okay? Yes. What's 5 cubed? It is 125. Ooh. Yes. Good job. Okay. I'm going to drop the 5 cubed. What about the parentheses? What do we get here? 40 minus 5. Okay, now can we do the exponents?
Yeah.
Yes, good catch. 125 plus 40 minus 5. What do we do next?
160.
Do I do 40 minus 5 or 1?
Then subtract.
Why?
125.
Because we have to go left to right. Because we have to go left to right. What's 125 plus 1 plus 40? 165 minus 5. 160. Any questions over PEMDAS before we move on? No? Okay. Skip. Okay, so today we're going to do recognize properties of equality and identity, and we're going to talk about commutative and associative and some other ones. Okay, but a lot of PEMDAS still going on. Okay, we're just going to put names to what we're doing. All right? Okay, the reflexive property. Can anyone look at that example and tell me what the reflexive property is, Spencer?
It just mimics itself.
It just mimics itself, right? Yep, pretty much. Okay, what about symmetric property? Yeah.
They equal the same.
They equal the same. So on
The problem's just flipped.
the problem's flipped, right? Because with addition, doesn't matter. Does order matter with addition? No. Okay. Transitive property. This one's a little bit trickier. Okay.
You flip the B. Yeah, you flip the B and the C.
Yeah. So they start here. 6 plus 9 equals 3 plus 15.
That's,
Okay. They can flip it. They mean the same thing. Again, addition, no matter how you do it, it means the same thing. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that the same thing true with subtraction?
You have to go from biggest to smallest. Wait, what'd you say?
You would have to work left to right.
Left to right.
Yep. What about multiplication? Does that work with multiplication?
No. Yes.
Yes.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about division?
No.
No. Okay. Substitution property. We just used that.
It's just like,
On that last slide that we did, we just used it.
You
Yeah.
substituted the numbers for the letters.
Yes, we substituted in the numbers for the letters that were given to us. Okay? Nice job. What's an identity? If you need to look at that, what's an identity of addition? Yeah.
The sum of it is 0.
Not the sum of it.
Sum of A.
The identity is 0. Okay? Because you add any number with 0, you're going to get the same number, right?
Yeah.
What's the identity in multiplication? 1. Because you multiply anything by 1, you get the same number. Okay? Additive inverse. What's the inverse of 4? So inverse, you want us to get it to 0. You want us to equal 0. What's the inverse of 4?
4.
Negative.
Negative 4. What's the inverse of 55?
Negative 55.
Negative 55. What's the inverse of negative 12?
Positive 12.
Positive 12, okay? So identity gets you the same number. Inverse gets you back to 0. Okay? With the additive inverse, what are we really working with?
Negatives.
Okay?
Integers.
The distance from a number to 0 is what? I'm quizzing you, I know.
The same.
The closest number.
Absolute value. Absolute value is pretty much what we're doing with additive inverse. Okay? We talked about these back there. Wow. Can anyone say that word? Multiplicative. Multiplicative property of 0. Okay? What happens when you multiply any number by 0?
It goes 0.
If you see a 0 multiplied by anything in a problem, do you really need to think about it? No. Put 0. Okay? What's the inverse? Inverse wants to get us to our identity, 1. Okay? So what do you multiply by any number to get 1?
It's
One.
the same.
If I want to get back to 1 and I have the number 4, what do I need to multiply it by?
1/2.
Not 1/2, you're close.
2/2.
Nope. So if I have 4, I need to multiply by 1 over a number to get me back to 1.
4.
4. 4, those cancel each other out, essentially, and you get 1. So what's the inverse of 2/3?
2.
3.
I put this over 1, I essentially flipped it.
So it's 3 over 2.
3 over 2. Okay, what about 24 over 36?
36 over 2. All right. The first number that you said.
24. Yep. Okay, any questions with those properties? Getting there? Okay. Dang it. Ignore. You have that on yours too, don't you? Everyone here? Okay, we're going to use those properties and order of operations to solve this problem. Okay, what is first?
Parentheses.
Parentheses, which one?
The first one, the one on the left.
Can we really do both at the same time?
Yes.
So what's 10 minus 7?
3.
3 plus 4. What's 18 divided by 9? 2. 2 minus 1? 1. Okay? In that, we started with this. Now we're to this. We started with this. Now we're to this. What property essentially is that?
Give me a second.
We talked about one. It's the same topic as when you
Transitive.
take numbers and put them in for letters. Starts with an S.
Reflected.
Substitution.
Substitution, okay? We are substituting these numbers in for these expressions. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's the substitution property. Okay, I'm just going to put SP, substitution property. Okay, on your homework, it's going to want you to use these properties. So put SP, okay? What's our next step?
You were left to right.
Yes, left to right. What's 1/3 times 3?
1.
What property is that?
That one.
We just talked about it. What is 1 in multiplication?
Is it
The identity or the inverse?
Complicated identity.
Multiplicative identity. So I'm going to put MI. Okay, what's 4 times 1?
4.
4. That's just substitution again. SP. Okay? So what's 1 plus 4?
5.
5. Okay? I'm not, on the test, I'm not going to ask you to use the properties. Okay? There might be one where I'm like, I'll show you what the property is. I'm going to ask you to name it. Okay? I don't necessarily like this, so we're only going to do it today. Okay? Because I got to teach you the properties. Fair? Fair. Okay, commutative property. Commutative property we've kind of already talked about. 4 plus 8 is the same thing as 8 plus 4. 7 times 11 is the same thing as 11 times 7. Okay, it's just flipping them. Can you use that for division or subtraction?
No.
No, why?
Because it could go into negatives or it can just turn out different.
That's
You'll get different answers, right? You will not get the same answer with division and subtraction. Okay? Associative property. Again, when can we use associative property? What operations? Operations. Multiplication and
Oh, adding.
addition. Okay? I have 3, 5, and 7, and I also have 3, 5, and 7 over here. They put parentheses in there. You do parentheses first, right? You will get the same answer. Okay? Same thing with multiplication. I'm just switching the parentheses. You're getting the same answer. Okay, that's associative property. Okay, no matter what number I associate the parentheses with addition and multiplication, you're going to get the same thing. Okay? Okay, last one here. What's happening between those numbers? Multiplication. Those big dots in there, those are multiplication. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite here. We're going to think about that last slide that we just did. Okay. Right there. What property is that if I just solved it that way? Starts with a C. Commutative, because there is no parentheses anywhere. And it's all multiplication, so we can do any one. Okay? Give me a way I can group those. How can we make this associative property? Yeah.
3 times 5 and 3 times
3 times 5. 3 times 4. That makes it what property? Associative property. Okay? Now what can I do?
And then you can answer them. So it'd be 3 times 5 is
Yep.
15.
15 times
12.
12. What property did we just do?
Substitution.
Substitution. And then finally, what's 15 times 12?
180.
Nice. 180. Okay. We'll do a couple on your homework together, but right now, do you have any questions for me? PEMDAS, are we all getting there?
Oh yeah.
Golden? Okay.